Hey everyone, I'm Hector with Westward Whiskey, and today we're going to be doing something amazing, pairing whiskey and donuts. So today with Westward Original, what we've done is actually paired up with our friends at OLIBOLI Donuts, and they're in the heart of Tustin here in Southern California. We've got amazing donuts for them, amazing whiskey. Let's get to drinking and eating. So we're taking Westward Original. Believe it or not, everyone behind our whiskey used to be a beer brewer. So from that, what we're doing is we're actually approaching whiskey just like most craft beer brewers are approaching their beer. This Westward Original starts off as 3,000 gallons worth of pale ale beer that we brew ourselves. Something very reminiscent of a pale ale beer. No hops, no carbonation, distilled down into whiskey. On that nose, a lot of honey. For me, this right here is gonna drink with very bright, very citrusy. From that citrus, it's actually gonna open up into stone fruit and finish with a lot of chocolate chip cookie on the backside. Some brown sugar and a lot of that oak note comes through as well. So think vanilla, think caramel, a beautiful whiskey worthy of an amazing donut. All right, so you heard a little bit about me, about Westward Whiskey. Let's hear a little bit about these donuts. So, whiskey and donuts, they, believe it or not, go amazingly well together. So amazingly well together that when we went over to OLIBOLI in Tustin, I had a hard time choosing which would pair the best with Westward Original. We got a few, and we're gonna dive into them, literally cut into them, taste them, and pair them side by side. This first one here is their Vermont Maple Glaze. So what I thought about when picking up this donut was, one, there's a lot of honey on Westward, there's a lot of that vanilla on the backside, and when you look at maple, sometimes that can get very sweet and overpowering, but when you look at pairing, what you're trying to do is complement and contrast at the same time. So for me, I think if you take this maple and you cut into it, let's do just a little bite. What we should get is something that's gonna have a lot of that nuttiness from the donut yeast, along with some of that very deep brown sugar on the maple. And I think the citrus on Westward Original is gonna cut nicely into it. So let's see. Okay. If you've ever had a maple glazed donut with bacon on top, I'll tell you what. I don't know what they're doing at OLIBOLI, but this is that without the need for bacon. It's amazing, it's decadent, and I was right. It's sweet, but not overly sweet. And when you look at Westward Original, this is just bright enough to complement it without wiping out the sweetness that's going through. So let's see. I always like to give it a little nose. Going left to right. Today, the right nostril's working a little bit harder, so I love it. Let's go in. That's great. It's funny because since this already to me opens up with a lot of honey, since that maple donut was very sweet, I get a lot of the citrus actually coming out on the backbone, and it's standing up amazing to that donut. But I don't want to rank it just yet because we've got 3 other contenders on the plate.